So I had to say I was a little intrigued to come just say hi to you and find out what this was all about.
I don't know.
You're funny. What is it?
I'm out here on an adventure today.
You're out here on an adventure.
Yeah.
Okay. That means one of two things. Either means you're very cool and very spontaneous, or you're playing Pokemon Go. I'm not sure which.
Oh, I don't have Pokemon Go.
Okay, thank you. Your esteem in my eyes just rose considerably. Thank you. Can I say you're kind of adorable? You're just like all over the place, but in like a very cute way. Why don't I guess, text or call you and we'll figure out if something works out. Does that work? Okay.
909.
Hey, what's up? It's Todd coming at you from Santa Monica, California, and today I want to talk about one of the biggest excuses I hear from guys for why they can't be successful with girls, which is, I'm an introvert. Okay, I'm going to explain to you how being an introvert is actually an advantage. I'm going to explain to you how to mitigate any perceived advantages extroverts have over you. Finally, I'm going to talk about the attitudes and beliefs you need to have to be massively successful with women as an introvert. The main reason why people view being an introvert as a disadvantage is that they have a fundamental misconception about what game actually is. They think that game is about being Mr. Popular, holding court, telling a bunch of jokes, having all the attention on you. That's not necessarily the case. For the first little bit of a set in a difficult group situation, that may be the case, but for most of game, what you're really doing is having a one-on-one intimate conversation with the one girl you really like. Okay, it's not about being Mr. Gregarious social. And so being an extrovert helps a little bit with the crazy group situations. In fact, actually, it doesn't even help skill-wise. It just helps in terms of attitude. It helps you have a little more fun in that situation. It doesn't even help skill-wise. An introvert can actually do that just as well as an extrovert can. But where extroverts get into trouble is when they're actually one-on-one and need to connect and calm down. It becomes boring for them, or they self-amuse too much, or they fail to listen and connect, that sort of a thing. Whereas introverts, here's the actual definition of introvert and extrovert, by the way. A lot of people get this wrong. It's not that extroverts can talk to people and introverts can't. That's not true. The actual definition is that extroverts gain a lot of energy from loud situations, group environments, that sort of stuff. Introverts gain energy and have more fun in quieter, more intimate settings, one-on-one or small group conversations, right? And game, when done right, is a one-on-one or small group conversation. It's not a crazy thing. And so actually, introverts should enjoy game more and should actually be more naturally attuned to the most important parts of game. Now, the reason there's that perception that extroverts do better at game is that the first 30 seconds of game does favor the extrovert. Getting over approach anxiety is a little bit easier if you're an extrovert. And engaging a group in a difficult situation is a little bit easier if you're an extrovert, just emotionally. But from then on, the introvert actually has the advantage because they're going to connect more, they're going to be more genuine, they're going to listen more, and they're going to actually be more intrigued and less likely to get bored in all those later stages of the interaction. And so they're going to come off in a way they're going to develop a lot more connection. And in terms of there's good looking game and there's effective game, introverts are actually much better at that effective, long-term, slow game that actually gets you to sex. Okay, so we've established that as an introvert you have an advantage later on when things get one-on-one, you can be more intimate, but you still have to get through those first few minutes. You still have to get through that sort of extrovert idealized part of game. Okay, so how do you do that? Well, there's two ways. One is strategic, the second is sort of attitude and philosophy. So first, let's talk strategy. If you're an introvert, what that means is that you are sort of socially efficient. You don't expend a lot of social energy and you do better in quieter, more intimate settings. So if that's the case, why would you go game at a loud, crazy dance club if instead you could go to a quiet lounge or bar? Or why wouldn't you just do a lot of day game, right? Instead of trying to be mediocre at the thing that you're not good at, instead take the thing you're naturally really good at and be the best at it, right? No one says you have to be great at every form of game, just be the absolute best at a few. That's the strategy you should take, all right? So tailor your game, tailor your decisions in game towards your strengths, which is one-on-one, quieter situations. Another thing you can do as an introvert, which is massively useful, is do online game. You get the girl out on a one-on-one date, and your introversion is a massive asset in that circumstance. Also, the fact that you're a little meticulous and a thinker is gonna help you with online game because that's all about split testing, thinking, adjusting your profile, that kind of stuff. Okay, so first, be smart about where and how you're gaming so that you maximize your assets. Secondly, understand that you still have to get through that first minute. And the thing with being an introvert is you're trying to be socially efficient. You're trying to not expend a lot of social energy, but that actually works against you and makes you inefficient. And here's why. If it would take 6 out of 10 energy to hold the girl's attention and you put in 6 out of 10 energy, you'll hold it, but you're gonna have to keep putting in 6 out of 10 energy the next minute and the next minute and the next minute. You're gonna have to keep working. Instead, if you put in 10 out of 10 energy for that first minute, then it would be so good that you'd get the girl chasing. And then you could chill out and put in 2 out of 10 energy for the next half hour, 45 minutes, hour, or 6 hours that it takes to actually get a result. So by making yourself step up and just be an extrovert, even if it's a little uncomfortable, just make yourself expend a little social energy and carry the burden for 1 minute, you're gonna put yourself into that sweet spot where for the next hour to 6 hours, you can actually be optimally introverted and have a set that you're truly gonna enjoy, okay? So understand, it's just about having the character and having the tenacity to understand, I must do this for 1 minute and then I will have the set of my dreams. But if I go in and do my natural inclination of conserving energy, I'm making it much, much harder for myself. Finally, I want to talk to you a little bit about what it actually means to be an introvert and what it doesn't mean. Because a lot of people have this sort of identity as an introvert that lets them have this learned helplessness. They're well, I'm an introvert, so I can't talk to girls, or I'm an introvert, so I can't be social. That is absolute bullshit, okay? I'm a natural introvert, and most of my friends are natural introverts who get laid like crazy. Almost everybody I know who's insanely good at game is actually a natural introvert. And what happened is, one, we decided we were just gonna man up and do those behaviors we were a little scared of, even if we are introverted. Two, what happened is as we did those behaviors and we got good results from them, we naturally became more extroverted, all right? Introversion doesn't mean you have certain skills or don't have certain skills, nor does extroversion mean that. It just means that you derive energy a little more from more intimate gatherings than from loud, crazy, overtly social gatherings, okay? You still have all the abilities, all the possibilities that an extrovert has, and as you start getting positive feedback for those behaviors, your brain is smart, it will start learning to be an extrovert where it needs to be. However, as an introvert, you're lucky, because it's a lot easier to man up and learn the extrovert tendencies than it is to become introspective and smart and learn the introvert tendencies. So if you can actually man up and just do what you gotta do, if you can step up and do the approach when you know you have to, you have a massive advantage over everybody else. So go out there and do it.